Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast. Episode, is it 250 yet? It's close. Holy hell. A lot of episodes. But thank you guys for being here for another week. This, of course, is the weekly MLB The Show podcast that appears on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else your grandma listens to it. That's where it is. Today, we're talking about another good content drop, guys. We're kind of cooking. Is it still MLB The Collection 25? Yes. And that will, it seems like, continue to be a downfall of this year's game. However, I will not complain as heavily, this is my personal opinion, if the content you're making me collect is at least really, really good. If you're making me collect shit, I'm not happy. If you're making me collect good stuff, I'm feeling better. So Friday's content drop was good. I'm happy with it, within the constraints of what we're operating with. So let's talk about it. This is the wrong screen that I'm on. Hi. Let's find that one. There it is. If you guys are just listening, thank you guys for being here on the podcast apps. Nothing too pressing you'll have to actually come and check out with your eyeballs, but if you want to come over to YouTube and subscribe, that'd be dope. So, we're gonna do this episode a little bit backwards. We're gonna look at my lineup first and then go into all of the new cards, because my lineup, as of Friday's content drop, has 6 new cards in it. It is rare, very rare, exceedingly rare, when a content drop yields 6 new cards for a God Squad in a week. And of course, it's everybody's personal preference, and of course, there are some expensive cards in here, but if you're somebody who has the bankroll for stubs, can wheel and deal a little bit, there's a lot of upgrades to make to your team. So I've added Trey Turner and Brooks Lee to my middle infield. Holy hell, this Brooks Lee is the dumbest good card I've ever seen. I unfortunately, I'm going to deal with the fielding. I don't want the ball hit his way. I just simply don't. But his hitting attributes are, you can't deny them. He's Willie Castro with more power. And he's got 120 clutch. And he's got better vision. He's just slow. We'll deal with that. It's not a big deal. If he hits the ball over the fence, don't matter how slow he is. So he's cool. And then I got Trey Turner. I actually sold my Willie Castro mostly to fund. I think he funded like 85% of this Trey Turner. So smart business decisions by me. It's Trey Turner. The power versus right's a little lacking, but the swing makes up for it. And I don't think the 75 power right actually matters all that much. Notice what I've done. Brooks Lee is a primary shortstop. I have him at second base. Trey Turner's a primary second baseman. I have him at shortstop. I would rather have Trey Turner with his defensive penalty playing shortstop than Brooks Lee with his primary defense playing shortstop. I've set myself up for late game switching with my bench, so I have Bobby Witt who can come in and we can make this work. But I just think this is the best defensive alignment for these two guys right now if you have both of them. New catcher for me, Jason Varitek. I had Adley. I still have Adley. Adley is now my bench catcher, as you can see. Me and Adley's swing don't go well together, and I don't know why. And it's not just exclusive to this year. It's been like that since Adley's cards started becoming like meta cards. Never been able to figure his swing out. I feel like it doesn't hit the ball hard. And obviously that's a user error mostly because a lot of people love Adley, but for me, it just don't work. So why would I keep using a card that for me don't work when there are other cards I could try? And so I'm going to use this Jason Varitek. I got lucky and actually pulled him from a pack. I pulled him at the time he was 80K. Realistically, I probably should have sold and bought back at this 60K price, but whatever. Semantics, doesn't matter. Varitek's good. He is somebody who, while his hitting attributes don't blow you away, the contact left does, 114. I think he's more of a swing guy. His swing is really nice. 92 vision, which I love. Vision's starting to creep up. That means your boy's going to be able to start hitting soon. I can't hit with these low vision guys. Once the vision starts creeping up, look out. You're unlocking the best version of me. He's a gold fielder at P1, so, almost there. He's at 79. And he's good. I'm happy with him. New DH, Lance Burkeman. I was using Nick Castellanos. As you guys know, if you watch the content, we were raking with him. Like, legit raking. Hitting 476 between Hall of Fame and one Legend game. 5 homers out of his 10 hits with 2 doubles. So 7 extra base hits out of his 10 hits. We were raking with him. I'm not opposed to going back to him, but I want to give Burkeman a try. He's a switch hitter, decently balanced offensively. The 80 power left is a little upsetting, but he's still a balanced hitter from that side. 65 speed, so he's not slow. He does have positional flexibility if I wanted to get frisky. I'm not going to remove him from the DH spot mid-game because then obviously I lose the DH. But you can move him around. He's got a pretty okay swing. I'm going to give him a few games. I want to see what he's twerking with. Lance Burkeman was one of the new legends I was most excited about because if you built his cards well, he could have some really, really exciting cards. I don't know if this is exactly what I had in mind. I thought we'd have a little more power, if I'm being honest. He had a couple 40-homer seasons, or at least one 40-homer season. I'm remembering one of them. But still, good card. Good card, worth a try, and I'm going to do it. New rotation member, tentatively, Jose Soriano. I'm going to use him for a video later this week. Check it out soon. 5-pitch mix. Controls are not good. They're not, but the breaks are phenomenal, so I'm hoping the break kind of bails me out. Hit per 9, 106, I really, really like on a starting pitcher. BB per 9 and control are both 70, which isn't good, as we know. We talked about the control not being great. He's got outlier 1 on his sinker. Hey, now. We might have somebody here. We're going to give it a try. And then new bullpen member, Jesse Chavez. He's Jesse Chavez. Incredible clutch, 107 hit per 9. He's got the meta pitch mix. His control for the first 2 pitches are very good. Last 3 are really bad, actually. And the break, actually, now that I'm looking at this, he might suck. Hold on. Let's do a player comparison. Raisel Iglesias was my other option for this spot. Pitching clutch is not as good, but that's okay. Pitch controls are better. All right, yeah. Raisel Iglesias is our new bullpen member, and not Jesse Chavez. I didn't actually look at the control and break. Look at those things. Yeah, Raisel Iglesias, welcome to the bullpen. That last bullpen spot of mine's kind of a revolving door anyway. If you get lit up, I usually take you out, or I get a fresh arm in there so I have energy. So Jesse Chavez could find his way into the mix here, but I like Iglesias. So that's 6 cards that I've added to my team. Those are not the only good 6 cards that dropped. So we're going to look at them right now. We're going to first look at the prime cards. Because realistically, I guess we'll first look at the June Lightning. The Nolan Arenado card is fine. If you don't have Roland, you can use them. Roland's much better. Even, if you hate Roland's swing, I don't know how you like Arenado's swing. I cannot stand Nolan Arenado's swing. I hit legitimately singles with him, and that's it. So not my favorite. And then these 2 cards, as you guys saw, are both on my team right now. This is the first time in a while both of these cards are really good. These retro lightning spotlight thingamajiggies. Happy with that. Otherwise, the cards from Spotlight were kind of whatever. You go here, you go here, you go there. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. The Christian Moore is kind of fun. If you're looking for a second baseman, Christian Moore might play. He's got an incredible swing, as we all know from the gold card at the early portion of the season. Fielding is fine. 69 speed, nice. Clutch is... It essentially levels out his contact. 74 vision is fine. He's a boring, unspectacular, but solid second baseman. Boring and unspectacular doesn't mean I hate him. Just means he's not flashy, but he could get the job done if you're looking for a second baseman. And my king, Clark Schmidt, should have been the card that Jose Soriano is, if I'm being honest. But I'm a stupid Yankee fan. You guys yell at me about that all the time. Cutter, sinker, knuckle curve, sweeper, sinker. Pitch controls are okay. Pitch breaks, phenomenal. I actually contemplated giving him a run in the rotation. I'm a Yankee fan, obviously, so I have a bias there. But I like Clark Schmidt cards just generally. He's got the pitch mix. His delivery's a little funk. Road Warrior, whatever. So, yeah, Clark Schmidt. I guess these cards are fine. This was actually a pretty good June Spotlight drop. But here's what you guys are all here for. Let's just cut to the chase. The prime cards. It seems like we have hit a stride in MLB The Show. Why do I keep hitting buttons I shouldn't? We've hit a stride, right? We talked about how, for months, the first several months of the game, why do all these cards suck? Why does this card stink? Why are we building cards like this? Why are we nerfing or putting way too much into the durability attribute? Like, we had a lot of questions. I don't know if this is true. It's just my observation. Other people have made the same observation, and I agree with them. It appears as if SDS does not know how to make good cards until they become like 93, 92. The sweet spot for, I mean, the last 2 weeks when we've had 93 to 95 and 96 overall content, the cards have been built phenomenally. Now, it's up to you if you want to use a card based on swing, based on height, based on pull, push, balance, whatever preference you have. That's your prerogative. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about the building of the cards. They've been building good to very good cards. It took some time. I don't know if it is just because they have more attribute points to play with because they're higher overalls. I don't know if they're taking a new strategy to building cards. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how far out they're building cards either. Right? Like, did they build these prime cards last week? Or did they build them a month ago? It depends on how they plan their content. That's one of the big things we don't know as a community. It would make sense if this content drop was built a month ahead of time, because it would have been a reaction to all of our complaints and feedback about how piss poor the cards were. That's another thing just to consider. And again, it's not based in fact. It's a theory. I have no basis of knowledge on their timing of building content. It's just something to throw out there. It could be completely wrong. But if they're building these things out, stuff like this, pre-planned content, they knew they were going to have a prime program on this day. If they built it ahead of time, maybe that's the case. Either way, let's talk about these cards because a lot of them are worth your time. So the Jason Kipnis was already there. Luis Aparicio, one of the few that's not worth your time because he has no power. But if we're being completely honest, it's a well-built Luis Aparicio card. It's Luis Aparicio. No disrespect to his legacy and his estate, but he's not built for video games. Jesse Chavez, like we talked about, bullpen guy, and he's in the program. Free bullpen guy. We love that. Raisel Iglesias, bullpen guy. And he's base pack, so he's cheap. He is basically quick sell, or sell now, whatever you want to say. Sinker, slider, four-seam, circle change. He's got a nice delivery that kind of pitches across his body a little bit. So he's a fan-favorite pitcher. Nice job giving us a fan-favorite closer. I'm happy with this. And he's got no quirks of super note. Stopper is pretty good, but I don't know why you're bringing in your closer when you're losing. So, whatever. That's one of the weird quirks. I never understood that one. Hal Newhouser. So, there was a legend of Hal Newhouser, several years ago. People used him, actually, and I couldn't hit for shit against him. If we're being frank, breakout liar. He's got 2 breaking balls. He's got the 2-seam, which is kind of the sinking action pitch. This is not a bad card, if we're being frank. What hurts him, of course, is his pitch mix, because he doesn't have the sinker or the cutter. But has a changeup, has a fast fastball, has a slider, which is decently sped, sweep and curve. Controls are breaks are He might be a guy you give a run through the rotation. He's probably going to suck. But he's built in a way that at least he makes sense. His hits per 9 is good. His stamina is great because every pitcher during that time period threw 400 innings a year. The clutch is whatever, but he's a starter. The break, he's got, it's built right. It's built right. And most of our complaints were not built around pitchers. They were built around hitters. The attribute allocation for pitchers is generally pretty good. Hitters, less so. But Hal Newhouser, not bad. Robin Roberts, pretty similarly to Hal Newhouser. He has a sinker. Curveball and slurve is a little redundant, a little upset about that. He has breakout liar. His controls are immaculate. His breaks are not as so, even though he has breakout liar. Go figure. This is one of the worst ones, of course. It's in the base round. It's a 92 overall. I've never seen anybody slice and dice with Robin Roberts. Maybe we'll give him a try for funsies. Bill Mazeroski. Now, you guys are going to think this is controversial. This man rakes. Bill Mazeroski cards rake. Last year's one that I used on the Pirates theme team was a demon. If you are looking for a 5,000 stub second baseman, and Christian Moore ain't your guy for free, Give Bill Mazeroski a try. This is going to be the most out of left field thing you've heard on this podcast in a while. This guy is worth your time. I'm not running him because I've got Trey Turner, Brooks Lee, and Ian Kinsler. We'll get to Ian Kinsler in a minute. But this guy's clutch equals his contact. His vision is nice. His power will play up because his swing is very good. He's a 92 in the field, and he doesn't slow you down too much on the bases with 60 speed. Plus, if you're one of those fellas, he can bunt. Yeah. Bill Mass. Charlie Morton, starting pitcher option. Not bad. Does he blow you away in any way? Absolutely not. I typically stink with Charlie Morton cards. Like, I cannot use him at all. That's just my problem. But the controls are... The good controls are good. The bad controls are bad. The pitch breaks are all great except the cutter, which you want that one to break. Quirks, none. Okay. Kind of a pretty vanilla attribute spread. I do like that he has pretty good pitching clutch, and the velo and break are up there. A card you might see online. And he's free, which is even better. Mike Cameron. This is one of the more disappointing cards. I yearn for the day we get the juiciest of juicy Mike Cameron cards. His swing is so good. He has an electric swing. Plus, as you can see here, based on the 93 overall attribute spread, he's the type of guy that could be such a great 5-tool card. I don't know if we're talking 95 plus speed, but 90 speed, 90 fielding, decent arm. He had a 4-homer game, ton of pop. I kind of want him to have a milestone card. I'm just a little worried the milestone card will tank his speed and defense. I'm crossing my fingers we get a crazy good Mike Cameron card because he'll be a ton of fun. By the time that card comes out, everybody's going to have Beltran at that point. Will we use Mike Cameron? I don't know. Maybe plays in a corner. But give me options. Maybe I want to take a break from Beltran at that point. Probably not, because he's the best collection card ever. But give me a Mike Cameron. So this one is admittedly on the disappointing side, but not terrible, not horrid, and free. Jim Cott. I am so very interested to hear what the world of MLB The Show thinks about Jim Cott. Attribute spread looks fine. Pitch velocities, they stink. He's not meant to throw hard. Pitch controls, a little wonky. Pitch breaks, fine. He is the definition, textbook, Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of a funky lefty. He just throws junk. He is a shitballer. He throws nothing. His windup might be the most deliberately annoying one in MLB The Show history, and that's coming from us having to use like Satchel Paige and all these other guys with really long windups. Warren Spahn. Want to throw up when I see him on the mound. But he throws so much shit that I don't know how you sit on anything. I am genuinely curious what we think of Jim Cott. I might try him for a video, just to say I used the stupidest dumb pitcher in MLB The Show. Yeah, genuinely curious. What do you guys think? Again, though, built well. 94 fielding, too. He's one of the best fielding pitchers of all time. That's a fact. He's got like 16 gold gloves, 15 gold gloves, 18 gold. He's got 1 million gold gloves. I just don't know what to make of this guy. I don't know. It's also funny that at age 36, this is his prime card. Just thought that's an interesting thing to point out. Usually your prime is like from 28 to 33. No, it's 36 for Mr. Jim Cott. Salvador Perez. Little disappointed in this card because I thought he'd have more power, but, well, I guess it's based off his 25-year-old season. I wouldn't consider that his prime. Whatever. His swing is incredible. And this card should be used a lot. This card is really good. Swing alone. Swing will buff up all those attributes. 84 vision on a Salvi card is really good. 97 clutch, better than both his contacts. When Salvador Perez gets later on in his career, you're not going to have the good fielding side of his card either. So an 81 fielding Salvador Perez, not bad. Especially the 80 reaction. Salvi got a little big as he got old. No disrespect, love the guy. Got a little big. So this card's good. I'm a fan. Built well. Michael Young. Holy hell, this card looks fun. This card looks fun. And if I didn't have Trey Turner, I'd be running this Michael Young probably over Derek Jeter even. Great contacts. Power, he's going to be a contact hitter. I'm pretty sure that that's what that equals out to. 75 power is all right, though. 102 vision, 115 clutch, so it's a little higher than the contacts. 80 in the field, 56 speed. That's one of the things I don't like about a shortstop. With, I want a little speed up the middle. 56 speed ain't great. But big fan. He's got dead red, first pitch hitter, quirks that we love. And he's got situational hitter. Just a really fun, well-built card. It seems like they always build really good Michael Young cards. Anybody else get that impression? They always build a good Michael Young card. So, excited. Excited to give him a try in other areas of the game. Maybe he does end up getting a run on the God Squad. I'll put Trey back at second. Michael Young at short if Brooks Lee doesn't pan out. But just, this is a really, really fun-looking card. Big fan. Big fan of 94 Michael Young. Tommy Pham, the only card I don't have from this set. Again, man, he's just a hitter. And he can field and run a little. That is a good card, too. Interesting card. You've got to be someone who likes, like, the lungy, slappy swing that Tommy Pham has. Technically, Gil Hodges has it, too. I don't love the swing. Gil Hodges' swing is not my favorite. But he's so juicy good that I use him. Tommy Pham is one of those guys, too. But again, the vision might be a little low, but that's kind of par for the course with Tommy Pham cards. He's a guy who's just going to hit the ball. That's all we've asked for. So many of these cards that have been released in the last couple months can't hit. They suck. These guys can hit. Jason Varitek, as we talked about, my new catcher. Don't have to hammer this point home again. A very good card. Here's everybody's new favorite third baseman. Scary Terry Pendleton. I'm using Roland still. I invested collection stubs into him. I like Scott Rowland's swing, actually. I'm one of the few that might. Maybe it's because I timed the ambush particularly well. I don't know. But switch hitting Terry Pendleton. Tiny little strike zone. Ball comes off his bat pretty decently. I did not like the Marlins Terry Pendleton, the 87. I think it was 87. That was not my fan. Not my favorite card. I was not a fan. Sorry. But this guy's got max clutch. This SOB's got max clutch, 105 vision. Built like Michael Young in terms of power. 82 in the field at third, 67 speed. He has no secondaries. And he is 57,000 stubs. So even as the rare round in the prime pack, he's not that expensive. I am ready to get violated unkindly by Terry Pendleton and ranked. I know it's going to happen. Weekend Classic starts in a few days. I'm ready to see him. I am afraid. Thankfully, he doesn't hit for a lot of power, but he's going to hit a lot of gaps. That's not good either. But Terry's really good. Ian Kinsler. A very fun Ian Kinsler card. They usually struggle to build Ian Kinsler cards because he needs to have a glove, he's got to have speed, and he's got to hit. But this one's got 100 clutch, 97 vision. The powers can play. He's got another one of them lungy swings, though. So it's a lungy question. You got to ask yourself if you don't mind that. I mean, it's a good card, though. It's just a good card. Richie Sexson. This card stinks exclusively because he's 6'8" and his swing sucks. But it's built like a power hitter. No fielding, no speed. Well, actually, 70 fielding ain't bad, but no speed. Put it all into the power and the contact, and they've done that. And we're not gonna hammer home Richie Sexson too much. We're not gonna waste time on here because no one's using Richie Sexson cards. And then finally, Lance Burkeman. Like I said, switch hitter. Wish the power verse left a little higher, but it's a fun collection card, man. It really is a fun collection card. So overall, out of there's 15 cards in this or 16 cards in the collection. 15 of them are new. So let's see which ones are usable. No, 1, 2. I'm gonna say Newhouser is. He might not be, but he's close enough to it. So we're going to say 3, 4, 5. Say Jim Cott 2 for now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Let's say my count was 13 out of the 15, meaning the only 2 you can't use are Cameron and Robin Roberts. And so 12 out of the 15. And Aparicio. Let's just call it 10. Let's say 10 of these cards, 66% of them are actually good and worth your time. That is a far greater percentage than any type of new content SDS drops at any given moment. So we're happy. We're doing all right. And if you're a fan, I can't believe this is an Orioles card. If you're a fan of the Orioles, use Luis Aparicio. If you like the Phillies, Robin Roberts might be your fella. You know, you're a Mariners guy building out an outfield, Mike Cameron. Like, these cards are still viable for what they are, other than Luis Aparicio. They're just not at the tier which I'd feel comfortable using them in ranked. That's how I gauge what cards are good versus not good. Would I feel comfortable using this in a Hall of Fame ranked game? Because that's where I play my ranked games. Your justification for that might be very different. You might play all on All-Star, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But a lot more hitters will be viable for you on All-Star pitch speeds. I judge things based on my standard, which is Hall of Fame ranked. So that's how I go about this. All these cards, though, except Luis Aparicio, don't suck. And that is good. Couple of the 2 spotlight cards that were really good that you have to pay stubs for. If I'm going to pay stubs for them, at least make them good. Both of them look good. Even the Topps Now cards, pretty good. The Chase card, fantastic. That's a Chase card, though. Though, considering it's a Trey Turner Chase card, I thought it would be 400K. The fact that it's hovering under 2 is pretty damn good. I think it's because of that expensive pack that they put out. But yeah, like, I'm not here supporting Chase cards, but if you're going to make Chase cards, make them incredible. This card's incredible, and the cost actually is not, it's not super cost prohibitive. It's very expensive, but it's not like super cost prohibitive compared to others. Just overall, good content drop, having a moderate amount of fun with the game, and yeah, here we are. Let's go. Weekend Classic coming up. Very excited. We will have a video on Thursday, probably with Jose Soriano. We'll have a video on Friday. Not sure what that's going to be yet. Working on that. Working on how on the in-game manager. I kind of want it to be a Weekend Classic game, but I also don't know if I have time to turn it around for Friday. We'll see. We'll figure that out. I edit all my own stuff, so I got to take that into account. But that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of the show, the podcast. Let me know what you think about the new content. And Jim Cott, really, specifically. Do we want to see Jim Cott? I don't know. I'm petrified to use him. Yeah, that's it. Love you guys. See you next time.